What's up, guys? Happy Friday. We got Foxborough tomorrow. And Jason Anderson out for the season. I got a little bit more on that. Aaron Plessinger looks like he's got a new deal. And is Eli Tomac actually being forced into retirement? And this weekend, these guys are going to deal with some nasty conditions at Supercross. It might even snow. This track looks bad. If you haven't tried Nano-Extreme yet, I recommend it to the thousands of people who have tried with their samples and love it, man. This is going to change the game. Big Pharma is going to be pissed when they find out that there's a cream that works way better than their addictive pills. I recommend if you have pain issues, go to Nano-Extreme, use code Cooksy for free shipping. This stuff works. Check out Complete Racing Solutions. Coach Rob has programs for youth. And now he bases his youth programs on the youth body. He's not just got some blanket program. So check out Complete Racing Solutions. He's got programs for vets, kids, everyday workers. He has got everything, and he's giving away a big one at the end of this month. Head over to CompleteRacingSolutions.com. If you have to ship anything, I'm telling you, use Precision Transport. They're a family-owned company, really good people. They love this sport, and they want to give back, and they have customer service. So hit up pretransport.com if you have to ship anything.
You need people like me so you can point your fucking fingers and say, that's the bad guy.
Yesterday, I made a mistake. I got Philadelphia confused with Foxborough on the East-West Showdown. I just get so excited about those. Maybe that was wishful thinking. I just didn't want to have to wait an extra week to see the East and West guys go at it. But yes, the editing department missed that one. And here's a little secret for you guys. I'm the editing department. I'm all departments. This is a one-man show. I am doing my best, but I'll tell you what, I might want to make more mistakes in the future because so many people commented on it just telling me that I got it wrong that the algorithm pushed it out so much faster. So I don't know, maybe I need to make mistakes more often, but anyway, I wanted to correct that. This weekend is East only, and then next weekend is the East-West in Philadelphia. But that leads me to, why the heck is there an East-West? So this started out back in the day as kind of like SMX Next. They used the 125 class at the time. They said, all right, well, we got Supercross, but we want to get some of these younger guys, but we can't just throw them in the 250 class, which is the 450 class now. So they said, all right, well, let's do divisions. Let's do regions. Let's go East region and West region and make it really reasonable. So some of these guys don't have to travel all the way across the country because they didn't plan on career factory guys being in the regional classes. I 100% believe Supercross needs to ditch this. This is outdated. It needs to go. And I want to see one 250 class, kind of like how World Supercross has. They have, the 450 class is still the premier class, but the 250 class is also a very premier class. They treat it like a professional series that it is. It means a lot to the manufacturers. They need to get 250s out there. They sell a lot of those bikes. And this whole business, since the promoters won't kick in any of their money, is based on bike sales. So you have to have a 250 class, and then you have a 450 class. They both need to be premier. Now, what they should do is go ahead and make that, just kind of like World Supercross, a 450 class, a 250 class, and then take the SMX Next. That is kind of what the 250 or 125 class was designed to be, for guys to get their feet wet in Supercross before they have to jump in against the big boys. Make that an East and West, because having these SMX Next guys going all over the country is ridiculous. It's a lot of guys that, they don't have the support. Some of them do, but some of them don't have that support. And they're traveling across the country to go to these few events when they should be in a regional series. They should be able to race West Coast, East Coast, maybe even 3 divisions, and then meet at the final. You should have to qualify and everybody meet in Utah for the final round. We don't have to reinvent the wheel. Just do what the 125 class originally was created for. Just add that to SMX Next and we are good to go. New England is East Coast, and that means less guys to get in the way. But with these conditions, I'm telling you, keep your eye. I'm picking Tom Vial. I think Tom is going to win this weekend. The only way I wouldn't pick him is if Max Anstie was healthy, because these conditions are perfect from these guys. In the GPs, they get a lot of this weather and they have to deal with these types of things. So I would say Tom Vial is your favorite, and I'm picking him to win this weekend. In the big boy class, in that 450 premier class, it is terrifying to these guys like Chase Sexton, Cooper Webb, who have everything on the line. They are battling for championships. And when you get a race where it's 40 degrees, there could be snow, the track is just a cluster, it is going to be a mud race. There's no chance, even if they don't get rain that night, it is going to be so cold and there's no way this track's going to dry out. They built the track under kind of, a lot of times if they can build the track under dry conditions, then they cover it, then it's okay. When they built this track, it was raining, so I'm going to go ahead and say the base of this dirt is going to be pretty soft. It's soft normally, but then if you add that extra soft conditions, really, mans? Now to the big boy class, the 450s, all the marbles. Now these guys despise these types of conditions, especially guys who are going for a championship. They want to settle this on the track. They don't want to have some freak incident or a bike failure due to mud or something happen. It really does mess up the championship. I know it's part of racing, but it's more part of outdoor motocross. Outdoor motocross, it's show up, ride the conditions that are presented. That is motocross. Now, Supercross was brought into the stadiums because you can kind of control the conditions. And if you can control the conditions, we get to see the best riders in the world on a track battling to see who is the very best in the most premier championship in motorcycling. You could argue MotoGP's bigger, and worldwide it probably is, but in my world, Supercross is it. If you win the 450 Supercross championship, that is legendary. It means a ton to these guys. And with Sexton and Webb battling for this when they see freezing cold temperatures and water, Webb probably doesn't get as stressed out because he likes a little bit of adversity, but Sexton's like, man, I just want good conditions because I am the fastest guy and I will win unless we get weird conditions. Now, while Chase makes a lot of mistakes, he is one of the best guys at blocking out outside interests, outside problems. And right now, KTM is a mess. They don't know what's going on with KTM, and that doesn't mean they're shutting down. There's very likely that KTM and Husqvarna will still be there next year. I think Gas will go away, and they wanted to keep Chase Sexton, but he is going to Kawasaki. How do I know that? I'll talk about that in a second. But with Chase Sexton almost for sure going to Kawasaki, it leaves him as a lame duck on that team, and it can get weird. How many different guys have we seen? Once they sign with a different team, and everybody around them knows it, it gets to be a huge distraction. Chase is one of the best guys at blocking that out, giving a full effort, and going for that championship. So he's got that on his side. And these championships are so important. I mean, they really stamp you historically as one of the best ever. Have we ever said, oh, check that dude out, he got second in the championship one time? We don't ever say that. We go, he was a champion or he was a race winner. We don't really care too much about second place overall in the points, as much as there's bonuses and there is some prestige in it. In the end, we only remember the champions, and that's what matters. And now Chase Sexton wants his second championship. Cooper Webb wants his third championship, and they're gonna fight till the end to get this thing. The good thing about mud races or crazy conditions or anything when it gets weird like this is we do see a lot of guys that normally wouldn't be front runners or on the podium have breakout rides. Are we going to see Plessinger come out there and win? Are we going to see Malcolm Stewart? How's Dean Wilson going to do in his return? When you shake up the conditions like this, it definitely opens the doors for guys. Maybe Dylan Ferrandis has a breakout ride. That can happen in mud conditions. That's the only fun thing, is it does throw just a different variable. But man, I hate seeing it when it's this close to the end, and it really matters so much for these title contenders. I really wish they'd run the schedule a little bit differently and try and find some more dome stadiums, at least towards the end. But I know Supercross, they're like, oh, well, we want to go to them later in the year because it's less likely of rain, and we've got to hit that market because they got to squeeze every damn dollar out of us and make sure that they get every fan. And I know it's good to have races all over, and the New England fans love this sport, but man, come on. Can we try and figure something else out and not go to Seattle and New England back to back? And I know a lot of you guys are going to say mud races are part of the sport, but I don't like them. And with these conditions, it makes, they have to shorten practice, they do the abbreviated schedule, and they've got the SMX Next kids out there this weekend. That sucks for them. They're going to get less track time. It is scary. These kids, they're young. They are what they are. They go out there and they fully send it. Last race, remember that dude jumped off the side of the tunnel jump? I mean, every single guy that got in the lead threw it away. They go for it. They're young. They don't know what they don't know. And now you're going to send them out there on a sketchy track, and they're definitely not going to prep it. They do not care. They send these dudes out there when the track is beat up. They save the track maintenance for, the premier classes, and they send these kids out there on this torn up Supercross track in front of thousands of people. They're going to go for it. So it is going to, man, I'm really worried for those kids this weekend. It's going to look like a demo derby out there. Check out Ride Strapped, one of my favorite companies, and just a company that I'm happy to be partnered with. Get your goggles, glasses, your red pill shirt. Yeah, they're just good people. So head over to Ride Strapped and give them some love. Alias MX Gear, tomorrow they are dropping their Ombre LE gear. And now this is limited, so you better order it quick because they will run out of this stuff. But that is dropping tomorrow. Look for Justin Starling out there with his LE Alias MX Gear. So we've got even more proof that Chase Sexton has gone to Kawasaki. I'm about 99.9% sure this is already done. Now, Aaron Plessinger was waiting, KTM was waiting to see how many dollars they had, what could they do. They were making a real run. They wanted to keep Chase Sexton. He's out. So now they've gone with the second best option. They've kept Aaron Plessinger. Sounds like he signed an extension. I believe it was on Monday. It was verbally agreed over the weekend, but I believe it was signed on Monday. Like I said, I haven't seen the contract, but I'm pretty sure that Aaron Plessinger is staying at KTM, which gives us even more proof that Chase Sexton's gone. Despite all these idiots, it's crazy how many times I come out with the information about these guys, and I have sources, and they all say, oh, he's making it up, doesn't know what he's talking about. But then later on, weeks or months later, or even years later in some cases, they're like, oh, he was right. And when I announced that Chase Sexton was going to Kawasaki, I don't think it was signed at that time. I think it is now. Another thing that I know is for sure, Jason Anderson is no longer with Kawasaki. He will not be with Kawasaki in 2026. The outdoors, they're saying he's coming back to race the outdoor series. Anderson's not a big outdoor guy. He'll do what he needs to collect his paycheck. But as far as 2026, Jason Anderson will not be with factory Kawasaki. They're currently exploring a lot of other options. I don't know where he goes. I've heard some stuff, but I was kind of sworn to secrecy on it, and I hate to do that to you guys. But when somebody gives me, information when they're in negotiations and they don't want me leaking it because it could affect it, I'm going to oblige. But as soon as I find out where Jason Anderson is going for 2026, I will let you know. As far as the reason he pulled out of Supercross, man, I don't have anything new, and I'm not going to pry, and I'm not going to speculate when it has to do with somebody's family. I'm just not. He can take as much time or do whatever he needs to do, and like I said, we're all just praying for Ombre. I hope things work out. It's terrifying when it involves your family. I did hear a crazy rumor that Club MX was going Kawasaki in 2026. Not true. Reached out to those guys and said, no, not even a little bit true. This is complete speculation. They are negotiating. I don't think it's signed yet, but they are negotiating with Yamaha and have every intention of staying with Yamaha. And Yamaha would be crazy not to support these guys. They've been nothing but perfect for the sport, and they're getting even better now that they've added Daniel Blair. What will get interesting is Star Yamaha and their 450 program. They got Cooper Webb, Justin Cooper, and Eli Tomac. And that was a big ask to keep all three of these guys. They did it. They weren't sure what Eli was going to do. Eli has not said he's retiring, but he said he's doing one-year deals and he's going to take it as it goes. He hasn't committed, and that's what kind of pisses me off. I don't know why these guys are trying to retire him. He has always said, as long as I feel good and can win races, I want to keep racing. Yet, some of the other media outlets just keep trying to say he's going to be retired, and I haven't heard those words out of his mouth. What I heard was it very could be his last season. As long as he's competitive, he wants to stay around. But with Hayden Deegan on the horizon, now Hayden Deegan's loose plan, and now this is dependent on a few things. He's got to close out the Supercross championship, then win the outdoors, and then he races Supercross next year, and he will go, if the plan is to go 450 outdoors in 2026. That would be 4 top guys on Star Yamaha. That is a lot of money. And now, while those guys are all deserving of fat contracts and rides, I don't know. It just comes down to there's not enough money at Yamaha. My advice to these guys would be, hey, sign the deal that's in front of you. It's a supply and demand thing. They can only spend so much, and they're going to spend it where they can, and these guys are going to just have to ride for less. I don't know what else to tell them. Eli Tomac, if he wants to come back and ride that cable clutch, he's probably going to have to ride for a lot less than what he's worth. But it doesn't have to be that way. It really doesn't. The promoters are making a crap ton on this sport. They're about to sign that gigantic TV contract with streaming deals, gambling deals, and the amount of money and attention that this series is currently grabbing with these demographics, and the numbers are great. If they can't sell this thing, they're idiots. That's on them, but they aren't idiots. They are selling it and they're making a lot of money, but they are not contributing. They're staying with the old model. We give you a place to race. Riders make money from teams and they don't get money from the series. We just give you a platform to show off. This is so outdated. They are cutting their own throats with this. They're going to lose talent. And these guys think that I'm trying to, take money or do some sort of you just got to give it to the rider. I'm not saying give it to the riders. I'm saying invest in your product. Not one of us shows up at that stadium to see the fireworks. Yeah, they're kind of cool and it's nice and it really helps the atmosphere and the great setup. And they do an amazing job. I've never said Feld and MX Sports don't do an amazing job with the presentation of the sport at the races. If you go, it is a blast. If the promoters would just kick back and revenue share so these teams had more money to spend, these teams aren't going to hoard that money. They are going to spend it and make sure these top riders have what they need to continue to be out there and deliver their product. So I shouldn't say profit sharing, I should say promotion. Invest in the product, give the fans what we want. Guys get hurt, you need to start with a whole bunch of them. So reinvest in your own product and give these teams or riders something to race for besides simply basing it off of motorcycle sales. And motorcycle sales aren't bad right now. The industry's doing pretty good, but it's not enough to pay what these guys have raced and are worth. And if you compare it, it's time. It's time, guys. I've been beating this dead horse. Promoters, invest in your own product. You'll make more money in the end, I promise. Speaking of greedy promoters, MXGP this weekend in Italy, kind of a sand track. But the Bullet, Jeffrey Hurling's making his return. He's coming back from a torn ACL. Now, he's going to go against Tim Geiser, and Tim Geiser is a buzzsaw right now. He is so dialed in. I don't expect Jeffrey Hurlings to come out and win, but I kind of do expect him. I mean, he's the Bullet. He's so fast. Even being off that long, it's hard not to expect him to be on the podium. So we'll have to see how that plays out in Italy. And he's also really good in sand. I mean, Hurlings is the sand guy, and while this isn't Lommel, it is a sandy track in Italy. Thank you, members. I appreciate you guys so much. BNR Bob won the Cooper Webb helmet. This month, we are giving away a Coach Rob membership. 1 year, he will get you being your best self. And if you're one of Coach Rob's members already, which a lot of you guys are, he will pay you the amount, I think it's $360 or $380, whatever the amount is for a year-long membership. If you're already